Hello. All right. I'm just totally. This is a total experiment. But I was just sitting here, and I this morning I had Monday morning meeting at this local cafe called Figaro, and I a block away is this fantastic bookstore that I've always known was here, but for some reason I just haven't gone into the whole time that I've been living over on in Los Feliz. And I started going in there, and I was like, this is going to be a problem because I'm a fiend for especially books that are a little bit odd and weird that you just wouldn't find in a normal bookstore. And so I started going in there and just coming back with books. So this is a new show. I don't know if it's a new podcast or if it's just a new show or a video stream, but it just occurred to me like 20 minutes ago. It wouldn't be cool if there was a show called like The Hall or My Book Problem or something. We just kind of showed the books that you got, and I managed to get away today with just two, and this was one of them. I mean, I just kind of stumbled across it. It's just I was literally kind of down on my haunches playing with Chewy the dog in the bookstore, and I glanced over and I saw this book and I was like, what's this? And what's it doing in the design section? So I saw it and it's like immediately knew I needed to have it. I can't really tell you all that much about the book, but I just wanted to show it to you. And there's something I think I'm just sort of fascinated by this cataloging of stuff. And what's going on here is not quite clear, mostly because I can't read kanji, and that might explain it, but maybe it won't. Maybe those of you can read it. My setup is totally wonky. Like I just threw this together and it's kind of barely holding. Something might fall. Let's see. But so it's like this catalog of like kit and gear from the Vietnam era, but the exhaustive detail is just making me. I mean, here's like underwear, and somehow there's a description, details on zippers and I guess zipper types, all these different features that are kind of represented and annotated. It's wild. All the tiger stripe stuff, which is, I mean, I was super into it when I was a kid, but now the kids are getting into this. That place, I forget the name of it. It's a kind of a peculiar fashion brand that does these limited drops, and I've gotten some of their stuff, but they really got into, I don't know if it's so much tiger stripe as the frog skin patterns, but all these things that kind of came out of that era of kit and gear for fighting in the jungle. I mean, look at this stuff. I'll get a better camera set up, but right now I can't get my camera far enough away because of the conditions under which I am currently set up. I just find this absolutely it's the catalog. Like, look at this. Like, that's the military. Can you see that? That's like the military issue. A little Marlboro thing. I think one of the things I find fascinating about this, in alongside of just being all the design fiction stuff, is just a deep appreciation for the meaning of material culture, like the things that are around us that tell stories about the world that we live in. And so when you get someone who's going to do, whoever this is, do a catalog at this level of detail, as if the stuff really matters, and almost as a archaeological inventory of the world. I'm just seeing all this stuff for the first time, just like, whoa. And I guess like many people, I mean, this stuff is just gorgeous. Look at this. I mean, it really is kind of this anthropology of material culture. Wow. Ooh, doggy. Like, oh man. This is just gorgeous stuff. I'm so glad that I found this book, even though it's just something to look at and to kind of reflect on. And it's less the subject matter although I find the military culture like really fascinating, and I think there are a lot of important lessons there. As much as I don't want to go to war, or as I'm not a fan of war by any means, the things that is a representation of the kinds of things that there's just a sense of overcoming adversity, the examples of like selflessness that I've definitely heard about, read about, listened to folks talk about, and it just in some way it resonates with me, and I try to understand it as a way of kind of modeling a particular kind of behavior, and a particular kind of resourcefulness and resilience, and the I guess opportunities to get jobs done together as teams and team organizations and these kinds of things. And I know like all the kind of business MBA people are sort of into that, and I feel like I'm kind of adjacent to that in a way, mostly because I don't really feel a part of that world, and also just definitely my own experiences creating community and creating culture, and the experience I went through building and running my how beautiful my company, and the things that I had to go through mostly alone to deal with that, and what it took to do that, which honestly was also a lot of listening to and talking to kind of I guess folks like within the communities of practice, where you learn from you just begin to appreciate and understand what is possible, what you're able to do, and ways of overcoming that sense of like, I just can't do that. That's not going to happen. And I think they're real worthy and worthwhile examples from within military culture. I mean, this just goes on and on and on. Amazing. Just beautiful. Look at this. Oh my God. Oh man. Whoa, dog. Yes. Okay, so that was one book. I don't know what the subtitle is. Okay, so that was one from the hall. Try to go over here without knocking everything down. If you could see the setup I have, you'd just be like, what's this guy doing? This is another one, and this happened. Oops, something moved. Yeah. All right. This is everything's being prototyped here. All happy accidents. Is that going to stay? It's going to sort of fit. So this one, I was at the register and I kind of like turned around and I saw this one and I was like, what is this? And I just kind of looked at it, and there was I think when I kind of flipped open to a random page, I saw this stuff. And again, another sort of catalog of material culture. This time it's like architecture, which I found super interesting. I guess it's from the Osaka World Expo. And I'm super into kind of like these weird speculative, I mean, stuff was actually built, presumably, but just so these different architectural explorations and representations of forms that are unconventional, that are sort of deliberate with a certain purposefulness. I just thought it could be like a really interesting reference. So that's the second one that I ended up picking up. And really this one, I mean, this was very much an impulse. It's a different graphic design examples from the era. It's always useful to have around as references, different symbology. Again, sort of more material, good for references when you're doing kind of speculative design fiction stuff, or just looking for, this guy. Saw him recently, this building on Brutalist builds on, it's probably super well known. Nakagen Tower, 1972, in Shimbashi, Tokyo. Yeah. All right. So, it's like this thing is totally moving as I'm sitting here speaking. Janky setup. I got a better setup back at the main studio. And hopefully I'll be able to move. Look, this thing is totally moved down from where I had it. This is crazy, crappy stuff. And that's supposed to be pro kit. Just slips. All right. Well, this was all an experiment. This is just like prototype, day one, episode one, and we're just going with it. Okay, that's it. I'm Julian. Hey, Mo. Come on, Julie. Let's go take a walk.